He's been a stalwart defender of the coal industry and the future coal has in the energy and economy of our country. For 3 minutes.
The gentleman from Ohio is recognized for 3 minutes.
Well, thank you, Mr. Speaker and Mr. Chairman. Thank you for those kind words. This is an extremely important topic, and I couldn't agree with you more, what you just said. This is largely an overreach by a federal agency stepping all over the rights of the states to regulate their own use of their natural resources. And so for that reason, I rise today in strong support of H.R. 1644, the STREAM Act, legislation that requires OSM to suspend its new stream buffer rule, while the National Academy of Sciences studies how current OSM rules affect the industry. Mr. Speaker, OSM's rule will cost jobs, increase electricity prices, jeopardize grid reliability, along with usurping states' rights. I mean, stop and think about it for a second. Shouldn't federal agencies understand what that all means before enacting a rule like this? The Supreme Court certainly does. The Supreme Court has already told the EPA, for example, in one instance, you've got to consider the economic impacts of the rulemaking that you're doing. According to recent studies, OSM's proposed rule will have several very negative impacts. Let's talk about how it's going to cost jobs. As many as 80,000 people could lose their jobs. Now, OSM said it's only 7,000, but recent studies says that it could be upwards of 80,000 people. OSM claims that job loss, because these high-paying jobs will be replaced, or they deny this job loss because they say these jobs will be replaced by jobs created to comply with the rule. Something tells me that those new jobs, those supposed new jobs, are not going to be in places where mining is going on, in places like eastern and southeastern Ohio. You're talking about entire communities rolling up the sidewalks. It's going to raise electricity prices and affect the energy grid reliability. Roughly 64% of Ohio's energy comes from coal. Ohio's electricity prices are currently below the national average, and in total, 22 states rely on coal as their primary fuel source. And this is going to usurp states' rights. State regulators who perform 97% of regulatory activities are completely left out of this rulemaking process. In fact, all but 2 cooperating agency states have terminated their agreement because of OSM's actions. Look, this administration and this rule reflect a callous disregard for American coal miners, their families, the businesses that rely on the energy, and the industry as a whole. Mr. Speaker, I strongly urge my colleagues to put politics aside. This is about an industry. It is about people's lives. I urge my colleagues to support the STREAM Act. I yield back.